So an 8-day trip to space that turned into 9 months. What a saga we have followed, right? 2 weeks ago, Butch Wilmore and Suni Williams returned to Earth via SpaceX. Elon Musk was the hero. Splashing down in the Gulf of America at the exact minute that was predicted, it was just incredible to see such precision. It was beautiful to see. It made you proud of this country. Dolphins greeted them in the water, splashing around. What a moment that was, right? I love that. Today, this pair took questions from the media, and they took a lot of questions. One of the first questions was on whether they believe our former president left them in space for all those months to prevent Elon Musk from being the hero just before the last election.
There were some issues, of course, that happened with Starliner. There were some issues, of course, that happened that prevented us from returning on Starliner. And I'll start with me. There were questions that I, as a commander of the spacecraft, that I should have asked. So we're not going to look back and say this happened or that happened and that person's or that issue or that entity's to blame. We're going to look forward and say, what are we going to use our lessons learned from this whole process and make sure that we are successful in the future.
Careful not to be too political. We can certainly understand that. I did have a few minutes to speak with this duo today about everything else aside from the politics. Also, a third astronaut who helped bring them home. Here's a little bit of that. Take a look. We are honored to have astronauts Butch Wilmore and Suni Williams joining us tonight, along with Nick Hague, who is part of the rescue operation. And good to have the three of you with us. Thanks so much for coming on. Suni, I'll start with you. What's it like to be home? How does it feel to be home?
It's awesome to be home. I love living in space. I do miss our space home, the International Space Station, but being home with friends and family and just feeling Earth and feeling rain is pretty awesome.
Feeling Earth and all those, and Butch, is it weird to get used to gravity again? I mean, what is that process like?
Yeah, initially certainly is. Neurovestibular, your balance is, those inner ear canals are just getting used to the gravitational foot pull, and it does take a couple of days. A little bit dizzy, a little bit of wobbliness, but over time the body is it's just amazing. It adjusts. Your structure, your bone structure is held up. Now these muscles that hasn't held up your bone structure for months is now responsible for that. So you get some twinges in the back as it starts to adjust as well. Wow. And the process will continue for a couple of more months as we go forward.
And Suni, real quick, I mean, I've heard stories about the astronauts drop things when they come back. Also, is there fatigue to the body? Talk a little bit about all that.
Yeah, of course. Like Butch mentioned, we're just getting used to the gravity inner ear, but also, all those little muscles. My neck hurt for about 12 hours just because your head is heavy. Just simple things like that. And even the act of lifting up your arm, it's like, wow, that weighs a lot. Of course, you get used to it pretty quick. Your brain kicks in, and then you're back to a normal stance. You're back to normal moving your arms and stuff like that. But sure, it is incredible what all of us put up with on a daily basis, and that makes us healthy and that makes us human beings.
Right. Nick, tell us about your role in this operation. Obviously, they were up there for a very long time. Tell us about your role.
Yeah, so there was a decision made in the August timeframe that we were going to change the normal rotational crew complement for Crew 9. Originally, it was 4 people. We downsized that to 2 to open up 2 seats. And so I launched at the end of September as the commander of Crew 9 with the goal of going to the station, integrating Suni and Butch into the Crew 9 crew. So there were 4 of us, including Alex. We were, our job was to complete a normal rotational long duration mission. And from the day I launched, we were targeting a late February return. And we were pretty close to the mark coming down middle of March. So success.
Just some of the conversation there with some really, really cool astronauts. Just love that stuff. Getting away from politics for just a minute there. Everybody's reporting the same stories, the same spin. You turn the channel, it's always the same. But not us. We're different. We report the real news. No spin, just the facts. Turn to us, and you won't turn back.
Tune in to Rob Schmitt Tonight on Newsmax.